Hey guys! Before I start talking about my story, I'm just gonna let you guys know that I'm not doing this for sympathy. It's actually helping me in the healing process, and I'm here to tell you that it can happen to anyone. It can happen to men, women, old people, young people, infants, people of all genders, all races, all sexual preferences, anybody. Please excuse my room. I know it's a mess, so don't put in the comments that it's a fucking mess, because I know it's a mess, okay? I'm going through a process of changing my wardrobe, you know, summer, I gotta put on the summer gear. My story starts off my first semester of college. I didn't have any friends, obviously, I was new there. So I met this girl one day. She seemed really cool. She was awesome. I could like bond with her. We could talk about anything together. I actually considered her my best friend. Well, she met this guy and I guess they started dating or whatever and blah blah blah. So I was like, that's fine. I understand, you know? And so her attitude started to change and everything. I just thought that was really weird, but one day we were in the cafeteria getting lunch and two guys approached us. One was talking to her and one was talking to me. The guy that was talking to me was the sweetest thing ever. Like, he was attractive, he was really nice and polite, and he bought my lunch. So after talking to him for literally about a week, he asked me to basically go get ice cream with him, and I said sure. We weren't on a dating basis, talking basis, or anything. Just friends, you know, just trying to get to know him. He picked me up from my grandmother's house because it's like closer to him, so I was there anyway. So he picked me up from there, he met my mother, and we went out for Rita's. So while we were at Rita's, like, I guess I thought he was like play tapping, you know how like stop or whatever, but his were like extra hard, and I was like, maybe he's just heavy-handed. But after we got ice cream, we went to the mall and we walked around the mall and we talked and we sat and we were talking about our day, and then we were leaving the mall and we got in the car and he started to drive a different way than what I'm used to going back to my grandma's house. So I asked him, where are we going? Where are we going? And he never said anything. So we eventually pulled into this parking lot that I was really unfamiliar with, and we were just sitting there. He locked the doors and he said, you're going to, before I take you home. I repeatedly said, no, 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 take me home now. He locked the doors and we were in there and my common sense literally went out of the window. I was terrified because he grabbed my head and yeah. So after that, he took me back to my grandmother's house. Before he dropped me off, he made me kiss him before I got out of the car. So he kept texting me and I kept ignoring his messages. And then out of the blue, he said, oh, I'm gonna get all these girls to jump you and I'm gonna tell everybody you're a whore and blah 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 if I don't like talk to him. So I told my mother that I was terrified to go back to the campus because I was literally going to get jumped. So I told my mom and she told me to inform campus police, and I just spit. But anyway, I told him that I was going to tell campus police if he didn't leave me alone, and then the messages just stopped. So the next day, I told my friend, my best friend at the time, everything that happened. She said, oh no, I can't believe this, I'm gonna be here for you, and blah blah, like a normal best friend would. So I got back to school and I saw him and I wanted to handle this like adults, you know, to crush everything. And I told him, we walked to the library and I said, can you please drop everything, just leave me alone. you know, just stop. And after I said that, he started getting like louder and louder and like angry because I didn't want to talk to him anymore. So I just got up and he like grabbed my arm, and then I let go, and then I ran out of the door, and he followed me, and I said, just stop, I won't even tell anyone what's going on, just stop. And that's when he punched me and slapped me in my face. As soon as that happened, I went to campus police and I told them, and of course it was a male police. I'm not stereotyping, it's just the whole young girl thing, like, we're lying. He asked me how, like, millions of times if I was lying. Obviously my face was damaged, and here's a picture. So that happened, and the domestic violence police contacted me, and they said that they were going to handle everything and that I was going to get counseling, and they were going to be there with me if I wanted to press charges, which I did, because that was just out of line. You do not do that to anybody. And I didn't tell them about the whole part, but I just let it go. I just told him that he hit me and everything. So yeah. So after I told police, I saw my best friend at the time, and I was running at her. Of course I was crying, I was distraught, I don't know what I was crying, and she laughed in my face saying, that's what you get, blah blah blah, and everything else. So right then and there, I cut her off. I was not talking to her anymore. A couple of days later, she's in one of my classes. So a couple of days later, she turned around and said, you know, there's a video. And I was like, a video of what? And she said, of you. And I was like, oh my god, no way. So I like literally left the classroom. Like, we were going over things for finals, and I got up and left. And she followed, and she was like, he was up here earlier at the school, and mind you, he wasn't allowed to come back to the school because of what he did. So he was up there at the school showing everybody this video and saying if I were to press charges or go forward with the charges that are already made, that he was going to like expose me all over the internet. So I finally told campus police what happened, and the guy there asked me, he was like, did you do this willingly? Like, you know, willingly. And what? No, I'm pleading. You're police, you're supposed to help me. You're supposed to like listen to what I have to say, not question whether I was willingly doing it. There's a video that I was not aware of. So after that happened, I went to the court and I got a protective order, a peace order, meaning he cannot be near me, see me, any contact, no hello, bye, nothing of that nature, no contact at all. And yeah, so we went through the whole court process, and his only pat on the wrist was a beginning starting at 60 hours of community service for hitting me and raping me. So my mom and I were like, that's it, but what can you do, you know? So we heard his hearing, and they lowered it to 40 hours a week. So yeah, and before, when we were walking in the courthouse, he stood right in front of us, like trying to scare me away, because if I don't show up, his charges are dropped. But he was trying to scare me away, and he's not even supposed to be near me, so I didn't know what to do. People are crazy. They will do anything, say anything to hurt you, to harm you, and to scare you from doing the right thing. If it happens, tell someone immediately. If it happened already and you don't know what to do, tell someone. It's never, ever, ever too late to say anything. If your parents or loved ones do not believe you, go to a higher authority. And if police question you, they're not allowed to do that. Fine, I prefer if you're you're comfortable with a certain person or anything, just tell them and make sure they tell someone else, because it's not healthy for you to keep that inside. It's tearing me up right now, but it's also helping that I'm telling you guys. It's tearing me up and I'm getting help. I have a therapist and I'm talking to someone. It's really awesome. And another thing is, be careful who your friends are. If you have any questions, comment below. This is my Instagram. And I do not have a Facebook at the moment. So just put questions down there, comments or whatever, and Instagram me and subscribe. I'm here to help if you have no one else to turn to, but you need to tell someone. Thank you. Bye.